Fraser Watson, Gordon Thomas in the studio in Haverfordwest this Monday evening, and it's just coming up to 8:25. And really good to have our next guest with us on the show. Heather Warner was the proud recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Sport Pembrokeshire Awards on Friday night. She's the British champion in race walking over the 5,000 metres distance, and this was a brilliant bit of recognition at the end of your career, because you're retired, Heather, now, aren't you? Lovely to have you with us. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, thank you. All retired now. Still have to work though.
Well, we'll come to that in a sec. But let's just start with Friday night, because between myself, Fraser, Tom, and Gordon, we've all been to Sport Pembrokeshire Awards over the years. I always found it one of the most inspirational nights out of all the award nights you got to go to, because it was such a variety of sports, such a brilliant cross section of people as well. So to win this award, how special was that?
Oh, honestly, like the whole evening was amazing. Like you said, everyone was just incredible. And I really did feel just so honoured and privileged to receive it. It just meant a lot to me. I just couldn't believe it, to be honest. It's just absolutely lovely to receive it.
And I think there's something special as well about the fact that, it's with other people from your home county who've achieved great stuff in their different sports. Did that kind of add to it a little bit for you?
Yeah, definitely, because it just built it up a lot as well, because it was just incredible just watching everyone receive some amazing achievements. And then for me to have that at the end, it really did. It was so special. And then being able to sort of say thank you, and I have a lot of people that I really wanted to say thank you to there as well. So it just gave me that opportunity to do that, and it was just so nice. So I just love the evening, and honestly, wow, we have some incredible athletes in Pembrokeshire, and they should all be really proud of themselves. It's amazing.
Excellent stuff. I know the guys are itching to dive in and ask some questions. So go on, Fraser, off you go.
Yeah, just on the award again, congratulations, Heather. And did it, since you've received it, or even that you didn't, you were going to receive it, is it almost had moments of reflection where you maybe didn't quite realise the impact that you did have on Pembrokeshire, or the amount that your achievements were appreciated? Because I've always thought race walking is perhaps not the most media, in terms of media coverage, compared to other athletics disciplines. Maybe it doesn't get quite as much in terms of what you consider more fashionable, race, 100 meters and so on. But to achieve that award, did it almost make you realise, well, everyone has followed my career, and Pembrokeshire has really appreciated what I've done?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was just so emotional to be able to see that, actually. And you're also right. I think everyone realised how much hard work I had to put in, even though it's unfortunately not really well known and things. I think a lot of people in Pembrokeshire could see how much work it was, and sort of a lot of people understood it a bit more, which is so nice. And that's why I really hope to give back to it, just to hopefully bring a few more people into the sport. And you do really have to work hard at anything you do. And I think that's what I really enjoy about the Pembrokeshire Awards night as well, because there's so many different sports that you see that kind of maybe don't get the recognition that they deserve as well through the whole night that happens. So it's really nice when the awards kind of definitely help that. So that's great. So yeah.
Sure. And just final one for me for a pass on to Gordon. Obviously, you had such a great career, Heather, Commonwealth Games, European Championships, British titles, records, and so on. What made you come to the decision to retire at 30? Because I dare say you still would have had a couple of years where you could compete at a high level left in you. What brought you to that decision?
Yeah, thank you very much. Just to be honest, I think after the season, I wanted to give that season a really good go and see what I could achieve. And unfortunately, I just didn't improve enough to make it kind of worth going for another season, because unfortunately everything is getting harder, times are getting harder, and I would have had to have changed things to be able to maybe qualify for some of the major championships next year, i.e. Olympics. And I think it was just too far out of my reach, and like I said, you kind of sometimes do have to really commit to it, and I'm starting to really enjoy and know that I'd like to work a lot harder at Clerkenhill, and I'm enjoying coaching and things as well. So I think it was just a really nice time for me to realise that if I kept going, I think I would have just kept disappointed myself a bit. So I think it was just the right time for me. It wasn't so much age or anything like that. It was more just came at the right time, and knowing that maybe I wasn't quite going to make the bigger sort of big stages, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, Heather. It's a fantastic achievement. You know, you're still a relatively young lady compared to me anyway. But, you know, you've had a tremendous career. I just want to go through what's been the real high for you during your career, and what's been the lowest part that you've gone through during your race walking career?
Yeah.
Now that's a question, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to think about that.
Yeah, so I think I'm always really proud of myself with the training that I did. So I know that sounds a bit boring in some ways, but I did push myself really hard. I look back at what I did, and some of the sort of sessions and the mileage that I did was just huge for me. So I'm really proud, and I'd say that's like a lot of my highs were through my training sessions.
Okay.
And then obviously I put them to play a lot on, you know, some of the bigger, and I do always go back to the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. That has to be my highlight, because just the energy and the atmosphere and the audience, and the fact that I was feeling great as well. I hit that track, and I did feel you know, ready, and I loved it, and my family were there. So I think that was probably my high race, and that, like I said, I'm proud of the race, the training I did. I did, to be honest, my lowest points were the transferring from a junior. I had to transfer from a junior where I was doing shorter distances across to a senior. And I honestly, if I was going to quit, it would be around then, because I really found it was a big step up. And I had times where I was going nowhere. I started kind of coming second a lot, and like maybe like third, and just not improving. And I really found that tough, but I just knew I wanted to keep going and doing it. And then I found new coaches that kind of helped me out and gave me a lot of support. And then, like I said in my speech on Friday night, just that I have so much support from people in Pembrokeshire. My husband, my family and friends got me through that section where, maybe there was times where I really found it hard. So but I pushed through, and I had a great senior sort of end to it, which was lovely. So I'm glad I did. Of course.
Being an international athlete, I mean, you've been so dedicated to your sport. People don't seem to realize the the effort that you have to put in, and you're not a paid athlete. I don't think so anyway, unless you're having a brown envelope like I used to have. But no, on a serious note, you have to dedicate a lot of your free time to training to get to an international level. How did you find that? Were there times where you wanted to go places and you couldn't because you had to train? How did you find that feeling? Because you're a youngster. I know where I wanted to go. I wanted to be at both places at the same time. But there you go.
I'll add to that as well. Heather, let me add to that as well, because I was going to ask you something similar. And because you also combine that alongside working, because you said about Clerkenhill Farm. So what was that like? Because you were working as well, and you've hit the heights. Commonwealth Games, British champion. That can't have been easy. What was that like? That mentally must have been quite tough.
Yeah, and that was another reason why it had to kind of come to a point where I made the decision to sort of finish. But yeah, of course, socially and things, you do sacrifice a lot, and you do have to make decisions and go, I can't, I can't drink, or I've got to go home early, or I can't meet you today because I've got to train and do the sessions. And training always came first, and fair play to all of my friends and family. They always understood that. Because I did it from such a young age, it really helped. But it was hard. Like, of course, there's times where you go, but I feel like I'm missing out. But, I loved it. I love it. I always have. And, so it really did. It was fine. But with work is tough, especially when the busy times come, through the summer holidays and things. Like, I just had to get up earlier, and I had to like squeeze in training after. And like I said, my family would help me around that a lot, but it was tiring. And like sometimes I did kind of, my poor husband, I think he found it quite tough with me sometimes to live with, but yeah, we got through it, and it was all worth it when I performed. But I think, you know, that's the biggest thing, is I did choose to stay at Clerkenhill and work. I never went off and did uni and kind of like made my lifestyle just race walking, which would have been hard because I would have had to have definitely worked to a degree. But you know, I wanted to do that. I wanted to stay home with my family business and make sure I had that when I was finished as well. Yeah.
And winding the clock, Heather, because I know we've touched on this before, but I think for listeners, it might be quite interesting. How did you get into the discipline of race walking? Because it's not an unfair comment, is it? That when you're a youngster growing up athletic, it's not the first port of call. You know, it's very rare you'll find, you know, children who are young who just start athletics who dream getting into race walking. It's something you transition to once you start athletics. Is that how it happened with you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So I did I did a lot of running in Pembrokeshire Harriers for a few years. And then there was a race walking, Louise Arthur. There was like a 1K within the Louise Arthur.
Yeah.
So I did some running and they asked me if I'd like to have a go at the race walking. And I did actually, I'd seen it. I kind of knew a little bit about it. So I went, oh, I'll give that a go. And yeah, weirdly, I was just sort of quite natural at the technique anyway. So then at the end, then Martin Bell, which was my first ever coach, he kind of approached me and said, would you like to give it a go? So I did obviously balance a few of my other sports around it for a little bit. But I loved it and I committed to it. And it just felt like it was my sport and I enjoyed it. So, and the community was brilliant. So that's kind of how it all started. Yeah,
we've had Gracie. We've had Gracie Griffiths on the show before, who's obviously a protege of yours. But do you think now, Heather, someone who's seen you in that discipline and be so successful and have that career, that can maybe encourage more youngsters to come through Pembrokeshire Harriers and try it?
I really think it will. And Gracie, to be fair, is already, there's a lot of young ones definitely kind of being inspired by Gracie for sure. We've already had a couple approach here and wanting to have a go, so it's really nice to see. And like I said, when you're young, you can definitely do a bit of everything. So if anyone ever wants to have a go, just come and ask, and me and Gracie would love to show them, and they can bring it into their training a little bit, and then one day, they'll hopefully be like us too and want to do a bit more. So I'd highly encourage anyone, definitely.
I'm interested to know kind of what life will look like now, because you've spoken about your training, combining that with your work as well. So now you're retired, you're obviously going to be coaching, but I can't imagine you'll go from all that training to not training as much, or not forcing yourself to go up. But what will you do now, Heather, alongside your coaching? What will that look like for you?
She can go to university now.
I was training so much, so like 100k in a week, and it's twice a day. So as you can imagine, I'm really struggling to slow down and not do some kind of form of training every day at the moment. I'm a bit mad, like my head's just got to come out of that a little bit, but I'm enjoying doing just different things at the moment. So I'm enjoying running next to Gracie, because I don't think I could keep up with her race walking now. And so just definitely keeping active and still really loving sport, because that's what I love doing. But just not quite as much in race walking. And then loving working, kind of knowing that I can do that a lot more and be hopefully a better help to my family and everything. And then maybe a family one day as well. So we'll see.
You will be running, not walking.
I think you switched from the longer distance when you took up race walking. You've done longer distance running, hadn't you, Heather? I'm just wondering, is there any long distance runs that might tempt you at any point? No. Marathon, anything like that? Yeah.
Don't let these two rope you in there. They've tried it years with me, so don't go down that road.
I've got a really lovely running friend who is very good, and she runs a lot of marathons and things, and she's just trying to get me to do a marathon. I'm holding back at the moment, but I'm sure you'll see me doing a marathon one day. Yeah, definitely. But I'm just sticking to like the 10Ks and 5Ks at the moment. It's a similar distance to my race walking that I was kind of ended with, which is good fun.
Just remember, you're retired now, okay?
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Well, it's a brilliant.
Lovely.
It's brilliant to talk to you on the back of that
Mm.
Lifetime Achievement Award, Heather. So once again, from
brilliant.
us all here, congratulations. I know you said a lot of thank yous in your speech, as you said on Friday, and I think it's fair to say, having made that switch, I think when you were 15 to take up race walking, you must have lived your dream in that sport. It's a great story, and you clearly have loved every second of it, and no regrets.
Oh, absolutely no regrets. Like you said, I have like traveled so much of the world and Europe. I've got incredible friends from all different countries, and I just don't regret one bit of it. And I honestly like really encourage anyone just to like, obviously you have to work hard and dedicate yourself, but just to like enjoy it and do it, because there's no regrets at all. No way. And I've got the rest of my life now as well. So
Look, we've said previously on the show, Heather, that I thought at one time you did have a slightly understated career, but when you are in the conversation for the greatest sports people Pembrokeshire has ever produced, you're right in that conversation, and for you to be recognised for your career was fully justified and well deserved. So well done from us too.
Thank you, Fraser. Thank you, everyone. No,
Great
I really
stuff.
appreciate it. It's so nice of you all. Thank you.
Heather, thank you. Absolutely brilliant. Great to have you on the show this evening. Thank you for your time. Congratulations once again on that. And we'll have a look back in the final part actually on some of the other winners from Friday, because it was another inspirational night at Folly Farm. So we'll do some mentions of some of those as well. Heather, thank you for your time. Thanks for being with us on Pure West Sport. We'll be coming back for the final part of tonight's show in just a few moments.
Pure West Sport Show.